Many thanks for staying tuned. It's still the conversation here on Lagos Television. Of course, you know how we do it on Fridays. We try as much as possible to help you start your weekend on a beautiful note. We intend to do that on the program again today with our guest. Today we will be hosting, of course, someone, I don't know if many people have seen him, but practically everybody, many people would have heard about his father. Of course, who was, a great man in the theatre world, one of the pioneers in the theatre world, talking about late Hubert Ogunde. This morning, we're pleased to have Owobo Ogunde in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Right. When you hear Ogunde, what does that bring to you, especially with what your dad did in the theatre world, and you being his son?
I think Ogunde essentially represents everything that is theatre and art in this country. Everyone knows that theatre actually was started by Hubert Ogunde in the 40s, and I know that there are quite a number of people who kind of argue with that, but there is
documented.
Right. There is enough history that backs the fact that he was the first person in this country to hire a hall and put up a show, full show, paid for by a member of the audience. Right. And it did that for many, many years before moving into filmmaking. Right.
I mean, he started as an actor. He was a multifaceted individual. He sang, he wrote plays, he acted, he directed, and so you were born into that.
Correct.
And seeing you today being an actor, would you say that that's just sheer providence, or you also worked your way into deliberately being an actor?
Well, my journey is kind of interesting. Well, as you know, I was born into acting. Acting is something that most people choose to come into acting. Most people choose to become an actor. I never choose to become an actor.
You were born
the first thing that I kind of knew is performing. Because when people talk about acting, they're only talking about one part of artistic delivery. I was born into holistic artistic world, which includes music, dancing, acting. So, I mean, I used to wake up to the sound of drums every morning. My mother, my father, brothers and sisters. That's what everyone does. That's how I grew up.
Right.
So, I really don't really know much.
All right, I mean, so somebody else could, you could have, when you grew and then you decided, oh, I don't think I want to tour this path. I think I want to deviate from what I grew into or what I was born into. But here you are today. We've also seen that you are also an actor yourself, featuring in a few movies, and we'll talk about what you're doing also in a bit. So at what point did you think, okay, I was born into this, I would like to continue, or I'd like to make a detour?
When I was born in England, first of all, when my father took a whole ensemble to the UK to perform for the first time, and they were there for about 2 years. I was born at that time, and then brought over back to Nigeria, and I grew up here in Lagos as well as Ijebu. I have performed in various stage plays with my father and mother. When I got to around age 20 to 20, around 21, at that point, all that I knew, my entire world was just performing.
Right.
And I wanted to do something else. So I've gone off to do something else, and now I'm back.
Right. So you actually just at that point in time you thought, okay, let me try something else. Yes. And then, but there's always this thing that draws one back into the performing, and which of course is why you're back. And I think Anikulapo, the series, would be what actually brought you back. Am I correct?
That's correct.
So how did you land that role? Did you reach out to Kunle Afolayan, or was there just a connection? And then, so take us through how you got the role.
So I was in England, and there was a lady called Bola. Bola is the daughter of a former actor as well, Aisho Pepe.
Okay.
Bola was in London, and she had an arrangement to meet up with Kunle.
Okay.
And Bola and I were just hanging out together, and she said, you know, I'm going to see Kunle, would you like to come along? And I didn't want to go along because I felt we've never met him, so I don't know much about him. I knew the father, you know, I grew up, we acted together in my dad's last film, Ayomo, in 1986. But Bola encouraged me to come along, and that's how I met Kunle.
Okay.
But, you know, given the fact that we have similar background, similar upbringing, we connect. It was very challenging because when I came back to location, that I think it was around about nearly 30 years
after you had left Nigeria.
After I left Nigeria.
Oh, wow. Yes. So that was after you had left Anikulapo, the shooting of Anikulapo actually brought you back to Nigeria. Yes. Did you ever think, or I mean, was it something you looked forward to, that perhaps it was acting that will bring you back to Nigeria?
Well, it's not that I haven't been back to Nigeria. It's just that I've just been interested in doing something else. I haven't decided at the time that I was going to go back into acting. Actually, what happened was about 2 years before I met Kunle, I was in Nigeria, and we went to see a Bolanle Austin Peters stage play. What was it?
One of the Broadways?
No, it's Eleshinyoba.
Okay.
And it was whilst I was watching Eleshinyoba that everything just came back to me, because I am fundamentally a stage actor. I'm not really, I still consider myself, I still consider myself a stage actor, you know. I happen to be doing films, but I am really a stage performer. So watching that was when I decided that I've got to come back to this. Kunle just happened to be the first person that I met, and everything just clicked. And that was why that happened at the time.
Right. So going back to the performance you saw, of course, the Eleshinyoba performance, and the fact that, you know, that was what you grew up amidst, that kind of theatre, and of course filming, which is now you know, the in thing. Would you say that the transitioning would be such an easy one for you, or would you just rather continue to you know, find how live theatre can be promoted, rather than all attention being on the screen or filmmaking?
If you're asking my view, I think there is a space for film and there's a space for theatre. I think they're very different type of art. The acting when it comes to film is very different to theatre as well. So my view is that if you want to become a theatre actor, you need to kind of focus on that. If you want to do films, you focus on that. Film is is the in thing. There are various reasons why that is the case. It generates more fun, ultimately. Theatre requires a lot more labor compared to
filmmaking, So did you you know, being raised in a performing background, and the fact that you're Hubert Ogunde's son, do you think that again has is an opportunity for you in the industry? Because I mean, there are a couple of you in the industry at the moment whose fathers, you know, have actually laid You know, the presidents, Kunle is one, Femi is another person, and I see the three of you are kind of, you know, that close. So would you say that the sacrifices or what your dad did back then is also one you could lay foundation on?
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about that. If what you were insinuating at the beginning of that question is that do we benefit from coming from
those families?
There is no doubt about that. I don't think anyone can deny the fact that you benefit from growing up in a house where all they do is performing arts. It means that you have an insight into art, into that business, something that it's almost impossible. There are some things that someone like myself would know that is almost impossible that someone who came into it would know those sort of things, because I've learned that from my mother, from my father, from the entire family, and growing up just doing one thing and one thing only. So you benefit from an experience point of view, from knowledge point of view, from exercise point of view, from link into various people within the industry. The name also supports you.
Right.
But even with all of that, you must have something yourself.
Right.
I mean, my father. I mean, I have 26 siblings.
Okay, go ahead.
They're not all into acting.
Right.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of them come into acting at some point in time.
Yes,
but,
and moved on. Moved on. And some actually didn't even do it at all. So even if you do it, it's even if they come into acting and they act, there is this talent, this gift that comes with this, and some people have it and some people don't. So the fact that you're born into the family does not mean that you will have all of the grace and blessings that comes with it.
Okay. Now let's talk about the industry itself. From when you shot Anikulapo, I know you have something you're working on personally, but when you came back into the country and you shot Anikulapo, did that ignite something else in you that also gave you the projection that, you know what, I think at some point in time I'd like to work on a personal project?
I think when I decided to accept the invitation to come on to Anikulapo, I didn't just do that because it's Kunle. I did that because there is a strategic view. There is a view that I wanted to come back.
Okay.
Because no one asked me to leave. I decided to leave.
Okay.
And there just came a time that everything just kind of
just the right
works.
time.
Yes, it was just the time. And from my perspective, there is a holistic plan. There's a strategic plan, and Anikulapo is just the first step in the right direction. In terms of the plan unfolding. If
it wasn't Kunle that you met and then shared that idea with you and you bought into it, would you have done it if it was someone else that approached you?
Seriously, I think the chances of that is very low.
Okay.
I think it was very low. Because first, I am a performer with pedigree. I come from a home of legacy, so I have to consider that. When you hire an actor within this industry, you're essentially hiring that actor. Yeah? When you hire me for any of your show, whether it's stage or film, you're not just hiring me. You are hiring the history, the legacy that comes with that name.
Okay.
Yeah, that I carry. So I have to be conscious of that in determining what project, fits that name, because it is very, very important that we do not drag the name down, in whatever we do.
Right. So when you took the break, other things that you did, were they also art inclined? Were they art related, or it was a total departure?
Total
departure.
Total departure from art. Related in some weird way.
Okay.
Right now, so when I left, I actually moved into technology.
Okay.
Yeah. So today I specialize in data and artificial intelligence.
Oh, and that's going to help really even in the acting world.
Absolutely. Right. And now that I'm back, I am looking at how we can use technology to enhance our storytelling, to support what we're doing, to look at how artificial intelligence can help us in bringing down the cost of filmmaking and cost of doing all the various other things that we have to do in post-production of a film. So those are the sort of things that I am going to be looking at going forward. So right now I'm focusing on writing, and then we'll start to then bring in those technology when we get kind of deploying the technology.
All right. Before I go to my next question, my colleague Adebimpe also has a question.
This is supposed to be a follow-up to what she asked earlier before this question you answered. The role of Bashoru himself is one of the most prominent people in Yoruba history, in Yoruba land. I want to know, is it the role as Bashoru that endeared you to the script, or the whole script itself, or was it just Kunle?
Actually, I think, first of all, Kunle was really the reason that I looked at it in the first place.
Okay.
So, you know, it's almost like opening the door.
Okay.
So he's the reason why I even looked at it.
Okay.
The second, moving on from Kunle, then everything was just the story.
Okay.
Everything ultimately comes down to the story. Okay. The power of the story is something that I'm really, you know, excited about. Do I?
Yoruba very well.
I hope so. You know, I grew up in Yoruba land, as you know. In fact, I would even say that my Yoruba is not even as good as I would like it to be. You know,
but you managed it very well.
Yeah, but I think in the movie, I think it can be better actually, because in art you're always, you know, looking to improve. On the current project that I'm working on at the moment, we're actually speaking Ijebu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's.
So how fluent is your Ijebu? If you're Yoruba,
guess what? You're gonna have to find out when the film comes out, and then you can give me a ring. You can give me a ring and say,
okay,
you know,
I say, oh,
that's Ijebu. Actually, I think you're good. You will be surprised.
Oh, okay.
Because I can speak a bit of Ijebu. Can I go on? Shall we try it out?
Go ahead.
And so,
that's it. Not even Ijebu.
That is not Ijebu at all.
She said it was so. There's nothing else.
Ọmọ Esi wo wa.
Ijebu wa.
Ọmọ Esi bio.
Ogunde.
Okay.
The response.
Yeah, because Ijebu people actually pronounce the name as Ogunde.
Ogunde. Yes, the N is silent.
Ogunde.
Okay. All right, let's talk about your new project, Iweala, and I mean, when you look at that title in itself is one that is quite deep, and one would have thought, a Book of Dreams. What fascinated that thought, or why did you title that project Iweala? What gave you the insight? What exactly are you trying to project with this new work?
Okay. So Iweala is a film actually by a company The company name is Come On Naija. The CEO and executive producer of Come On Naija is Mrs. Olaomi Afajemirokun.
Oh, okay.
And herself and her team reached out to me to come on board for this project. And when I read the script, I thought that it was culturally, I thought it was unique.
Okay.
I thought the story is also something that is fascinating and unique. It's very, very different to anything else that you've kind of seen in Nollywood.
Okay.
Dare I say it, even globally as well. It's very unique, and because I'm also someone that I am very picky. I don't have to act. I know there are quite a number of people who need to. I don't have to do it. So it's the story. It's what we're doing. It's the richness of it that actually pulls me into it.
Okay.
It's a culturally rich story. It's based in Ijebu, which you don't tend to find. A lot of stories are based in Ibadan or Yor. So I found it really interesting because I grew up in Ijebu, so I could relate.
Relatable.
It's very relatable, and it's also very unique as well. As you said, from the title you can tell that there is a depth of culture. The story is really about hereditary responsibility and how what we do and our childhood as well can actually affect us and influence what we do in the future, and some of the things that happen when we were young can also affect us if we don't deal with those issues at the right time.
So in this particular work, did you act in it, or you're just strictly producing?
I'm the lead actor.
Okay, you're the lead actor in this one. And so who decided that this will be Ijebu speaking? Was it your choice or the choice of the producers?
So all of those choices have already been made before I came on board. So I am mainly engaged on this project as an actor. Not as a producer or anything else of that nature. But it is a project that I am also championing. Is a project that I am fascinated about. Is a project that I really want to push. I want people to, when it's released next year, I really want people to go out and see it, because I think it's really it's fabulous. It's fantastic.
Right. So since you've been back into acting, and I'm sure that you've seen a couple of things, a couple of likes, a couple of dislikes, also perhaps things that you'd like for the industry to imbibe to be better. What are some of those things that you'd like to share if you look at the overall growth of Nollywood?
Of course, Nollywood as a whole is still growing. We have a long way to go. A lot of progress has been made. Technology has made those progress possible. But there is so much that we can do. There is a huge number of, or a good number of people out there who are pushing the boundaries. When it comes to storytelling. My interest is really to look at how I can support that with my experience, having grew up here, and also spent a long time abroad as well, to look at how we can collaboratively work together, and also bring my experience also from, not just from the acting part, but also from a technology part as well, to look at how we can push our storytelling to another level. Are there things that we can do better? Yes, but we shouldn't really be focusing on the negativity. There's a lot of great things have been achieved within this space, and I think I want to focus more on the positive. There's a huge number compared to the 80s when I was here and we were doing this. There's a huge the industry has grown. not just in the various disciplines, but also in the number of people who are benefiting, who are working within the industry. So I think a lot of great things, a lot of strides, forward movement has been made.
Let's talk about family support here. I mean, it's one thing to live in the UK and then you're flying to Nigeria to work from time to time. How supportive is your immediate family about this, knowing full well that maybe, of course, this for you is passion, because where if not for passion, you probably would not even want to come back into this. So let's talk about family support.
Well, I think my family heavily supports what I am doing.
Okay.
My wife, she met me when I was performing.
so she cannot complain.
No, yes, absolutely. So she knows that, you know, this is what I do, this is what we do, this is what I was doing when we met. So I think she's happy for me that I am back in it. I feel happier and flowering doing it. And she loves, you know, to come back. I mean, she was here only about 2 weeks ago. She was at the location just to see how things are done, etc. So she loves, you know, to participate, not as an actor, but to participate in the, just to support the whole thing. And she also loves the red carpet, the premieres, the flowing gowns.
She loves to pose for the cameras. Right. How about the extended family? Like I said earlier, I mean, we've seen some of your older brothers come into the industry, and at some point in time, we didn't see them again. So one would have thought, oh, what's happening to the Ogunde sons? Do they not want to keep the legacy of Hubert Ogunde going in the acting industry or in the performing industry? Now that, of course, you're back in the industry. Before you came back, it felt like, oh, what's going on? Nobody, we're not seeing any of the Ogundes in the performing industry anymore. Was it deliberate, or it was just personal reasons and they felt, you know what, it looks like they were not cut out for this?
No, I think to the contrary. I think a good number of my brothers and sisters at one point, they were very active in the industry. I think, and there's always something going on.
Right.
Yeah. For example, this Sunday, the Association of Nigerian Theatre Practitioners are meeting in my family home in Ososa.
Okay.
There's always something going on. My brother, Ayo Ogunde, he's been in the forefront of quite a number of things. You may not have heard about it. There are so many things that have happened within Ogun State that he championed for many years.
Okay.
But I think also you have to remember that a lot of the people that you maybe have heard of, like my brother Ade Ogunde, and they're fairly older now, to be honest. So I think that age and all of those things plays into it. But I think now you still have my sister Kundayo, and she's fairly active, and then you have myself now back into it. I'm sure that, you know, as we go along, more and more or people from my family will come along, because we have to keep the legacy going.
Right.
There is a huge repertoire of work that we have in the family that we need to do something about. We need to get out there for people to see.
Right. Okay, at some point in time, would you also look into producing your personal work, or would you want to also look at other ways by which you can contribute more in the performing industry in Nigeria, perhaps through directing or you know, being an executive producer? Are there thoughts in that line?
How do I answer this question now? Absolutely.
Okay.
I think what we're doing at the moment is we're building up to that.
Okay.
As I said earlier on, you know, I am fundamentally a performing artist. My artistic capabilities covers a wide range of area when it comes to performing. And now I'm moving into storytelling, so I've started writing. And when all of that is done, we'll then move into looking at how we produce, you know, this work. Now, in addition to that, that's just stuff that I am doing. In addition to that, we have, you know, countless work that my father has already produced that, you know, that we can work and we can reproduce, you know. If I don't write anything and we just look at my father's work and we just reproduce that, we have more to last me the rest of my entire life, and probably even for the next generation coming behind us.
Right.
So, so I think it's just really ensuring that we're doing the right thing and doing it properly. So as a family, we don't just rush into things and quickly get it done and just quickly put it out there. No.
Yeah.
Has to be done properly, and that's what we're taking our time and working on it.
Okay, so what are some of the criteria you will need to tick the box on if you're approached to be in the project of someone or to act in any project as we speak? And would you say that you are an affordable actor?
Yes.
You are affordable.
I don't even have to think about that.
Okay.
I don't have to think about that. Yes.
Would you collect your money in pounds or in naira?
Okay. So since we're on television, since we're on television, let me just say this so that at least people can take this and they can say, well, look, you said this. I would happily, and I have actually made this offer. I would happily come and act for free. You don't even have to pay for my ticket. I'll pay for my own ticket. I'll do everything free. If I buy into this story.
Okay, if you buy, you have to buy into the story.
If the story is right, if the story is good, the quality of what we're trying to produce, if that's good, I would happily forgo the money, because for me it's about art. Okay,
all right, you heard him. He said that on live television, and of course television don't lie, so you can always take this back and quote him. But you said this, but remember, there's a caveat. It has to buy into the story. The story has to be authentic, has to be real, and production has to be top notch. So when you look at the things that you've seen in the UK, and you know some of the things that we also churn out here, again, I know earlier you said let's not look at the negatives, but there's always you know, a benchmark as to measuring your successes and where you'd like to be. What are some of the things that it's a no-no for you? And you just mentioned that, you know, if you want me to work on your script, it has to be something that, you know, I connect with. But for a lot of producers, what are some of the things that perhaps they need to start working on or taking cognizance of in their bid to produce their movies?
I think if you look at some of the movies or some of the things that have been churned out, I think some, to me, feels maybe a little bit rushed. Okay. It feels like we are maybe not as focused on some of the details. Okay. I think if you compare, we have products, we have productions coming out of this country that will stand the test of time, that will meet international standard. To Kill a Monkey is a great example of that. And Nicolakwo is a great example of that. There are so many other examples. I just mentioned those two because they're recent and they're fresh in my mind. Right. And why is it that those the films we just mentioned, they're able to kind of stand out? It's because the people who made those films were very, very deliberate. They were intentional. They paid attention to detail, and that's really what it takes. But look, wherever you go, even if you could go into the UK, when people talk about the UK or they talk about the West, they talk about the top, you know, the best that's coming out of those places. You know, those places. Yeah. But when you go into the UK, we have indie films. We have films that don't make it to the cinema.
To the box
we
office.
have rubbish too over there, you know. So I think sometimes we beat ourselves up and saying all our films are not good. Well, it's only in most things, it's only the top 1%.
Yeah. How about storytelling?
Yeah.
How intentional should we be about storytelling? Because again, sometimes we have producers from some of those places we've mentioned producing our own stories and sometimes distorting the facts. So how deliberate should we also be here in producing our stories and telling the stories how they should be?
I think one of the things that we need to do is first of all to own the stories and tell our stories in a very authentic way.
Okay.
Because one of the things that anyone from abroad, one of the things that we know that they cannot do, they cannot tell the story authentically.
Right.
Yeah, that's the reason why they have to twist it, you know, because there are aspects, there are gaps in their knowledge. We don't have those gaps.
Right.
We just need to be intentional. We need to know exactly what we want to do, and we need to just be persistent until those things are done.
Right.
We have some of the best stories in the world. I still think that there is a need for us to kind of fine-tune our stories for them to become very unique.
Okay.
So because when you look at American stories, for example, American films, you can tell that's an American film. When you see South Koreans, you can almost identify
them.
You see Bollywood, you know, they have a unique formula.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's exactly, as we develop, all of that will come out. I mean, those guys didn't start yesterday.
Right.
So I think as we develop, we will also fine-tune and have a formula that really works, that will sell to anybody in the world. You don't have to speak our language. You don't have to know anything. You can watch our films just the way that we watch Indian films.
Right.
You'll be able to watch it without understanding the language, and you'll enjoy. I think that's maybe the next step. That's something that we can work on to just make sure we have that authentic.
Okay. We know that, like you said, Iweala is, of course, an Ijebu-speaking, largely Ijebu-speaking production. And then we've seen you in Anikulapo. Will there be a preference for the kind of genre that you like to be on, either English-speaking strictly, or are you also willing to try your hands on the Ijile Yoruba-speaking movies?
No, I think I can pretty much
blend,
do anything.
Okay.
My interest really is in craft, the craft of acting, the craft of storytelling.
Okay.
In Anikulapo, for example, we spoke Old Oyo. In Iweala is the Jebu. Maybe my next project may be in English. It's the craft. It's about understanding the character and the story, and then being able to modify yourself to be able to deliver on the vision.
Okay. All right. Before we allow you go, is there any Nigerian actor that for peradventure you'd like to work with, or a producer that you'd like to work with?
Ooh.
You haven't given that a thought? Not really.
No. But I mean, I do get scripts from various people, various companies. If the whole thing comes together, and I don't think it's if I think it's original and it doesn't feel like something that's already been done, yes, I will take it. I don't think I am really interested in how big the company is, the project is. I'm interested in the story. The story is king.
All right. So how often do you intend to come to Nigeria now that you're getting back into the performance?
Wow. I intend to come to Nigeria whenever I need to come to Nigeria. I was here about, well, 2 weeks ago, just before Christmas. I'm here now, and I'll be back again before the end of the month, because the new Anikulapo will be released. So I'll be back again for that. So if whatever is up.
So anyways, just how many hours? 6 hours. It's just good night UK, just good morning Nigeria. Just
book ahead. Yes.
I don't know if you've touched on that. After your debut with Anikulapo, how come we've not seen you? We didn't see you at all.
Where?
In movies, in other movies. Because that was such a big movie, and we just thought that we'll start seeing you in others.
Well,
since 2024.
First of all, the new Anikulapo will be released on 30th of January, so that one is done. I'm currently on one project.
That's coming next year, like you said. That's 2026, 2027.
Yeah. But I'm also not the type of actor that you're going to be seeing anywhere, everywhere. You know, or everything that is happening, I'm going to be there. That's never going to happen. I would, to be honest, I don't think I will have. I have the time for that anyway. I probably have just about enough time for 1 or 2 projects a year. So it really comes down to what comes my way, and I don't really go out there to kind of look for work and say, hey, you know, is there a story there going on? Are you guys looking for an actor? No, I'm not interested in that. But if you have a story and you think I'm the right person, if you reach out, I will respond.
And he's also said that, you know, he's willing to work for free if the story is authentic. He'll buy his ticket by himself. I'm sure a lot of people will hold you onto this particular one.
For real.
So that's part of giving back.
I don't know if it's part of giving back. I think it's one, I can afford to do so. Two, I think I have an understanding of the market and how the market works. There's much more to this than the money. The money will come. Yeah. You don't have to pay me to act in the film for me to get a reward for that piece of work. I understand that art, you never lose in art. One way or the other, the reward will come at some point. One way or the other. So even if it comes across as if it's free, it's not.
That mindset is one that, of course, will take an artist very far. I think we'd have to, it's a fine place to leave this conversation this morning. Thank you so much, Owobo Ogunde, for finding time to be with us on the program, and for giving us your time today. We truly appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's it. That's all we'll take on this side of the table this morning. You can catch this conversation again on our YouTube channel much later on today. Then we'll take a quick break. When the conversation returns, Adebimpe and Joy will be here with their Lagos conversation.